Welcome back to Mcoc Al Bundy Rules. I have the new event quest for June 2021. This is going to be Chapter 1, so I'm going to have 1.1 and 1.2 here. Going to take a look at these nodes. We got Celestial Vision. Each time Cosmic Attacker, 10% chance for unique buff to gain Vigilance. So we want Vigilance, which prevents missing for 5 seconds. If it's True Strike, True Sense, or True Accuracy, that Vigilance buff lasts an additional flat 5 seconds. Nowhere to hide. Each time Defend or Miss affected Cosmic Indefinite Fury. When it's avoided, every 10 hits there's going to be a falter and then faltering mine. So I want to use Cosmics here. I want to try to pay attention to the combo meter. Every time it's at 10, I'm going to get a falter. I'm going to want buff heavy champs, because buff heavy champs, preferably ones with like that True Strike, True Accuracy, are going to help me get overridden on the falter, which if I go through and I override the miss based on that, then I can gain some fury buffs. We're looking a quick look at the boss combo parry buffed up. I need somebody who can get buffs easy, stun, vulnerability, steady perseverance. We're going to look more at that once I get to that fight. Just a quick little look, but I really brought 4 cosmics to kind of rotate through on the path. I like to kind of vary up my champs on the path. Not everybody has every champ, so kind of show you, let's see, figure out what works, what doesn't work. So actually I brought 3 cosmics for the path, and then I brought a couple champs for the end. Boss fight, see how that goes, some different nodes and stuff, so kind of play it by ear, see what we like. I'm going to activate one of Odin's pre-fight abilities right off the get-go. I'm looking at these again, so I'm just going to go ahead and activate it on Hela, which Hela with Odin and especially the pre-fight is very nice. So I'm going to work, I see I got a Vigilance right off the get-go. However, we see it goes away pretty quick. I am taking a look. I see the falter is going on. I'm trying to get a basic feel for these different nodes right now, see how they feel. I am being kind of cautious to try not to avoid getting punished on the falters. That Vigilance seems like it can go pretty quick. So right now I'm just going to mainly focus on doing once I see I'm at 10, unless I clearly see that I have the that purple little icon up there, I'm just going to kind of cut it off to avoid missing on the falter, and then I'm going to back off. With Hela here, I'm getting up some charges right there, then I'm going to get my heavies going on. I'm completely messed up. The Dexter are just blocked right there. So I'm going to build up Hela right here, and there we go. So I got some of those charges. So now I'm just kind of building up her Furies. I couldn't get him to come in on me. I was going to try to have special intercept. Unfortunately, he didn't want to come in, so I had to throw it into his block. But kind of playing around on how things go. So it's kind of getting a feel for the nodes. I wasn't really pushing my luck there on the Vigilance, on the falter, as I didn't feel like I really needed to with Hela. But as we go into the fights and my comfortability level, I'm going to try to exploit that Vigilance a little bit to build up some fury. Kind of get comfortable on the nodes first, see what's going on, seeing if I even need it or not. And then looking over here on Shang-Chi, going to use my coal. And Perry didn't seem to want to go for some reason, so go ahead and do an armor break. Gonna go ahead and back off, activate that route. And now let's try to get a little bit of fun damage going on. Again, I'm going to try to be careful watching that combo meter. Once I get close to 10, I'm going to try to remember to be careful. Completely forgot there and hit right into the falter, which was a miss when I had no Vigilance up and I got punished. So trying to remember to make sure I have the Vigilance up. Got a little paranoid. Vigilance was still a tiny bit up, but I backed up when the falter got in, as it's easy if you get too comfortable hitting into it when the falter goes in. It's easy to make a mistake. So I'm going to try to play a little more cautious and avoid making that mistake again that I already made. So again, at 20, I see the falter up. I don't have a Vigilance, so I go ahead and back off. Additionally, I'm trying to bait out that special there. So there we go. And that's what it looks like, a special off of Mortal Kombat Shuriken or whatever that is. Waiting for the fireball to come out of there. Anyway, actually, no, that will be Street Fighter. Never mind. Shuriken. Okay, so Nice little rant. Let's get back into swinging him around, and there we go, some good damage. Go ahead, try to finish that off, and there we go. So getting a feel, getting first couple of fights on new nodes or new node combinations. They've been switching them up a bit on EQ. I try to get a little bit of comfortable first before I get a little too headstrong and jump on in. And I'm starting to get a little comfortable for the 10 hits, for the falters and all that. So I'm going to go in and bring in Odin. I'm thinking Odin is like a perfect match for these kind of nodes if I am doing the mental calculations in my head correctly. So I'm thinking about bringing Odin, but I just changed my mind last second, decided to go to Cole. I'm going to bring in Odin after this. I want to do another Cole fight. So let's go ahead, get those armor breaks, get the rubbies. I want to build up his charges a little bit. We saw Cole with pretty good damage last fight, and he's a ramp-up champ. That was his first fight. His damage only gets better as we move forward. Again, I completely forgot about the falters. Trying to get used to that. I'm completely messing up the falter. So, showing a good not what to do. I get a little ahead of myself sometimes when those falter things and like that go on about. So I'm at 10 hits. I see the falter. I got no vigilance, so back off, wait for the falter. And there we go. Parry's now working for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why. Sometimes parry just doesn't work. So I'm trying to remember that. And I see the falter going in. I went ahead and activated their route. Go ahead and get my S3 going. I believe this should do some fairly respectable damage here. This has been a very, very slappy fight from many different perspectives, so I just want to get this fight done at this point. Go ahead and bait out that S1. I always try to do the S1 bait on Massacre. I got a vigilance going on, but I keep thinking I'm good to go on the falter and keep messing it up, and there we go again. I'm just getting really sloppy. I spoke too soon saying I thought I was getting comfortable on these nodes. It's not complicated nodes, just a few different pieces going on. You get kind of tunnel vision, and okay, I'm gonna try this again. So yeah, the nodes are kind of messing me up here and there. Simple stuff. Some double checking, celestial vision, nowhere to hide. The cosmic attackers, indefinite fury, arrogance. My arrogance has really been hurting me with that. No, that's a very appropriate no name right there. And faltering mind. So keep this in mind. Kind of step back for a second. Let's go into Psycho Man. Let's break out Odin. I'm really thinking Odin should work good here. I'm going to start off with some heavies, get that energized going on. If you don't know what I'm doing on Odin, watch my tutorial on him. I actually got 2 tutorials on him. I got a tutorial after he came out when I used a 4-star. After his little modification, adjustment, buff, tweak, whatever you want to call it, I did another tutorial. By then I had a 5-star R5, I believe. So there we go. Okay, I'm seeing I'm getting energized. So all these buffs are going on. It should be really easy to keep energized is what I'm sorry. Should be really easy to keep the buffs going on that can allow me to avoid missing on the falter. I believe that once I get him a little ramped up and kind of ramping Odin up right now, I really want to got the vigilance going, so I believe he should be super easy to keep vigilance up. Right now I'm just waiting for me to be able to do specials again so I could do an S3. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead trying to do the S3, but he beat me to it with the special, so knock out that S3. Now at this point I got Odin pretty well ramped up. I could throw an S1 in there too at this stage. There isn't really a whole lot of health left for Cycle Man, so I'm going to get my heavies up, get my Odin Force ready. Now I just want to go ahead and S2 will easily end this fight, I believe. So again, being careful, there is a vigilance there. So we see I'm hitting into him with the falter up with the vigilance. I was able to easily go through probably my first successful attempt on the first 3 fights again. And we see I can get some benefits from that as well. Knocked out that S2, and Odin steamrolled right through Psycho Man. Fairly easy there. And now, I said it before, I'll say it again, but this time it's more true. Got a little more comfortable on the node combinations. Falters, I never like falters. You just got to focus on it, and if you lose focus on it for a second, you get all jacked up. And in this case, looking at timers and combos and everything else going on, those ones are always... Just if I pay attention, I just don't like paying attention all the time. So again, I had fun with Odin that fight. So I'm going to break out Odin again here in the cable fight. knock some sense into him. Got my Odin Force, my Energize, some Power Flood. Went ahead and get that S1 going, so I got Odin Force ready. I got Vigilance going. I got True Strike. I got all kinds of good stuff going on. So again, I know I'm trying to hit into him past the falters going on because I'm getting Vigilance up nice and good. I'm trying to rack up some of those extra buffs I can get. And however, he needs to get baited out now, so I'm just going to kind of back off, bait out that AS2. There we go, there we go. And let's go ahead and do this, get my Odin Force ready before I get into S3. Again, if you don't know what I'm doing, watch my after buff tutorial on Odin. And although there isn't a whole lot of playstyle differences between the pre and post buff, you will see some differences, especially based on star rank and all that, and how you could really build this guy up. I'm a big Odin fan, actually, a huge Odin fan in the game. And don't think he's getting as much love as he deserves. People look at his synergies and kind of miss out on him, kind of like Apocalypse. When Apocalypse first came out, took a bit before people realized how good Apocalypse himself was. I think Odin's kind of fits into that category as well. And Odin steamrolled through that fight, relatively simple. Gonna roll on through into the portal. Get over here to gonna fight an Odin. We're just talking good stuff about an Odin. Let's see if I'm gonna still talk good about him while I'm fighting him. So do I want to do an Odin versus Odin, or do I want to break out one of my other? So I've only used Hela once. I'm trying to rotate, use it approximately each champ approximately twice on the path to get a feel in case you don't have one. See who different works. Pretty much any of these cosmics are gonna work for each of the fights is my expectation, and kind of test it out. So now I'm gonna use Hela again. Again, I'm gonna kind of get her charges up with those mediums, watching for falters, trying to get into hitting him when I had the vigilance going, but he started getting passive on me. And there we go. So I'm going to get my charges up, and I'm going to start charging some heavies to get my furies up. And I see that, so I went ahead and used the miss fail because of the vigilance right there. So hitting into that when the vigilance stuff is good, I'm having an easy time keeping vigilance up this time with Hela. So I did take some nice block damage there. I went ahead, done some charging, did an intercept with the special, and now I'm just going to try to get my furies up. If I can get my furies up, I'm running low on health. If I get my furies up quick, I should be able to finish this fight relatively quick, as I got getting those furies rolling, taking advantage of the vigilance right there with the falter. And now be careful of this special, and I'm running a little bit low. Go ahead, do a special intercept, and there down he goes. So a little bit of fun there. Not the prettiest play, but effective nonetheless. Gets it done. Got through all those fights. Not overly clean as I'm getting a feel for the nodes, but let's look at this boss Elsa. So will time blocks random debuff on them. Dexing is going to give me a random buff, so I want to do a lot of parries and dexes. Combo parry every 10 hits, combo meter, the attacker gains a permanent cruelty. So I need to get buffs in order to do damage, but it's super easy between doing a dex or doing 10 hit combos on the combo, or 2 5-hit combos I should say. For the cruelty, I see buffed up. They take 100% less damage unless they have 3 buffs applied, but are going to be very easy. Stun vulnerability while she is stunned will take 200% damage more increase, and when defender activates special attack, stun immunity. So I got to remember after Elsa's specials, kind of back off, don't try to parry her. Hopefully I remember that. So I brought in Professor X specifically for this fight for a couple of reasons. One, mutants against the skill for the class advantage. 2, Professor X is fun. I don't use him that much because I run suicides, but if I'm using him just for a single fight like a boss, I'm happy to bring him in. He's easy to get buffs. I can get the True Strike going, or I can get it to where I'm not going to miss with him. I can get the falter going on with him, and I can get easy buffs with him as well, in addition to the nodes. So I figured he should be a good fit for this fight. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of combination, playing around on that best defense node between the parries and the dexes, building up some buffs and debuffs at the same time. And now I'm going to decide I'm going to start off doing an S3 with him as I'm kind of playing around with this node, getting a feel for her. And I'm at S3 now, but I'd prefer to try to go ahead and bait that S2 out. There we go. There's the stun immunity. I'm just going to block it just one fight. I'm not worried about taking a little bit of block damage. And I am building up some buffs by dexing before I go to the S3 to see what kind of random buffs I get. If I'm going to do an S3 and I have a choice to add a few buffs to it first, then why not, right? Why not? I want to also make sure I had enough to make sure the special will cause damage. You only see some damage going, not a whole ton. Went ahead and tried to get a prowess there after the special. And now I'm just kind of playing chill for the most part. Again, making sure I'm keeping my buff count up. And then watching the power. So I'm going to have to go to bait here. Again, I'm perfectly fine with just taking some block damage. Isn't going to hurt me that much, even though our health pools are pretty similar. I'm getting Professor X ready to do some massive damage coming up. As I played around, got a feel for the nodes. And now let's start doing some special spamming going on. Go ahead and get those prowess going up. Alright. Again, similar thing. Prowess channeling going on. Do some combos. Build up my prowess there. Go ahead and refresh the prowess by dashing back. And this fight's pretty much as good as over as long as I don't do anything silly. So I'm just going to kind of hang out right now. Take the block. I am going to go ahead and wait for that stun immunity after her special to wear off before I try to do anything. I see an opening, and there we go. Pretty simple boss fight overall. As long as you pay attention to the nodes, follow that strategy, should be pretty easy for you. Professor X did very nice there. Honestly, a lot of champs should be able to do that fairly well, I believe. And pretty simple, easy breezy, which is always good. So that's 1.1, chapter 1.1 in the books. So let's stick with chapter 1 and go to 1.2 now. This one is going to be mutant beneficial. So I'm bringing me in a mutant team. I'm going to check out the path in which I will be taking. Going to see here, mutant attacker knocks him down, gain a heavy attack. With a heavy attack, unblockable buff for 3 seconds. So I want to knock him down with heavies. Mutant attacker hits defender with unblockable. Attacker gains an indefinite fury. So after I get them knocked down, I want to attack them while I'm unblockable to get those furies. Each time defender receives a stun debuff, reduced duration, unless the attacker has an active buff or prowess passive. So I got to be careful with that as far as stun timers. Hopefully I'm able to keep the buffs up, and defender takes 20% reduced damage from all sources except special attacks, heavy attacks, and unblockable attacks. Want to keep note of all that because that's as much as I remember. I do tend to forget nodes mid-fight like a lot, very often, but as long as I get through it, it's all good. Don't gotta be pretty, just gotta get it done. So I'm going to start off the first fight against Rhino. I'm going to look at, just brought a whole team of mutants, one for the pass, and I believe these champs, a couple of these champs should be good counters for the boss too. And I try to intercept, and completely forgetting I try to intercept Rhino. That was starting off with just straight stupidity. So I knocked him down with the heavies, so my focus on these fights are going to be trying to do the heavies. And then once I'm unblockable, try to get in there in order to, nice little mistake there, in order to get a hit while I'm unblockable, in order to get those furies. So that's my plan, but someone like Rhino makes it a little more challenging because of those unstoppables while he is charging me. So I made a few mistakes on him already, try to duly note it. Other defenders should be a little simpler to capitalize on these nodes. But once I knocked out that S2, easy breezy, took him on down. Few mistakes in that fight. As long as Rhino's been in the game, should remember by now when he charges he's unstoppable. But sometimes just slips the mind, you know. Again, antagonistic, reckless abandon, roll with the punches, Achilles heel, double checking all those. So I was making a couple mistakes last fight, so double checking some of the nodes. Alrighty. Get into the fight with Moon Knight. Thinking who I want to use now. Let's go and have some fun with Cable. With Cable, these fights should be pretty good fights for him because we want a heavy anyway. So I'm just going to parry heavy. After my heavy, I'm going to dash in, assuming they don't have power. If they have power, I want to be careful. I don't want to get intercepted with the special, but I do want to hit them when I have those unblockables after knocking him down. Even doing an S1 right there, that way was kind of a safe way with the unblockable to hit him. Horrible dex job right there. And there we go. Look at the unblockable, trying to get these Furies up, doing a fairly decent job, and they're playing it safe, especially if they have power. And Cable just completely demolished Moon Knight there, based on good playing off of the buffs, as to build up those Furies, as well, of course, the parry heavy strategy. Did not activate Horseman for him, nor am I going to activate Horseman for Psylocke here, but just that synergy alone with them does an enormous amount. So I'm going to try this. Figured Psylocke would be good for this fight because of the... she's not metal. However, we're going to have, based on the heavy needs and reliance in order to really take advantage, I'm going to play her a lot different than I normally would play her. So going to be a little awkward for me. So I'm going to get kind of a feel for this. And I'm going to try to get in a power lock, which I believe should work unless there's something on the nodes I overlooked. So I'm going to try to bait out the special one, then hit him with my special one, which should power lock him. And there we go. And I just he got intercepted, which is, man, should have been able to get a Fury there. Playing very sloppily here. I wanted to go after him, but he had a bar of power through that special. So let's try this again. I'm going to try to power lock him again. Got that S1. And I attacked him, but for some reason he didn't stay power locked. So under normal circumstances, Magneto should have got power locked. Maybe there was an ability accuracy reduction, which I thought was for mainly #metal, but something prevented him from getting power locked, but that's okay. The fight's mostly over, so I'm not going to stress that out. I'm just going to finish up the fight and get it done, and that will do it. Alright. I was trying to adjust a different play style with her than I normally use, and got a little sloppy, but still got it done. So now I'm going to look at Domino. So looking at who I want to use, I'm giving some consideration. You decide, let's go ahead and activate this Horseman of Apocalypse pre-fight. And I'm going to go ahead and use it on Gambit, mainly because I want that perfect block, 100% perfect block with this. Once we build them up, I completely forgot what I got so focused on the heavy to get that unblockable, I forgot and I accidentally activated the prowess. So that's not how I wanted to start the fight. I completely got as I'm trying to get those charges up to get the perfect block. Whole reason I wanted to use him was for perfect block, and I messed that up at the beginning. So let's try that again. Now that my prowess are gone, I'm going to try to, there we go, get it going. I'm up to 4, 5, although I got myself cornered. I need 10 of those little spade thingy-majiggies in order to get myself the perfect block. I'm at 6 right now. Trying to activate more, but for some reason it's not activating. Might be some ability reduction stuff or something with Domino, I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to want to go past 6 for some reason. I'm trying, just ain't going. So that's okay. 6 is fine. That will still give me some decent perfect blocks going on, especially if I miss those evades and got a block while she is coming after me. And now I'm looking at what I'm going to do. Once I figure I can finish her off, I'm going to switch those spades to some prowess with the parry heavy, and then I'll activate that as 3 and finish this fight off. So she's at 28%. I'm getting to that stage to where I think I could finish her off pretty easily with the special. So I want to get this S2 out of her. So now if I just go ahead and switch these to a prowess, there we go. So I got 7 prowess. I'm going to go ahead and do this S3. That is easily more than enough to finish off this fight. And look at that big old swan dive. She takes head first into the dirt. All right. So there we go. Not the prettiest playing so far, but who needs pretty as long as we get it done. Let's go into Immortal Fist. Go ahead and use Gambit again because I kind of didn't represent him very well the first fight, so let's get those spades up. I want to get them up to 10, and I'm going to kind of leave them up to 10. I'm just going to take blocks just for fun. I love being able to do 100% perfect block. It's so fun. So in this fight, you're going to see me purposely block a lot just because I enjoy seeing that green perfect block. I mean, perfect blocks synergies were nerfed like back at 12.0 days, or a little before 12.0 if I remember right, because they were too overpowered. Back then, even ideally, I think it gave like 50% perfect block. This is like guaranteed 100% perfect block on all these different attacks and specials. So it's fun to use with the synergy. So I'm just going to keep it at the spades. When I feel like activating and switching it over to a special, I will, but I'm in no hurry because once I switch those to prowess, I lose my 100% perfect block. In all honesty, I don't need perfect block for an Immortal Fist, better for some of those champs with those hard to evade specials. However, like a War Machinist one, something like that. However, it's just fun to do, so I'm just going to take those perfect blocks anyways. When I'm ready, there we go, switch it over to 10 prowess, launch that S3. This should do some pretty hefty damage. If it does not finish him, I can go back to 10 spades for more perfect block, but it is not needed, as did quite a bit of damage on that special based on the health pool and the percentage that went down. So let us keep on fighting, going on down to Mr. Hit Monkey. Somebody should call, what is it, PETA animal abuse here, isn't this? Smacking around a monkey? That just didn't sound right. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into Apocalypse here. I started off with a special to get the unblockable hit into that unblockable. Again, I want to try to capitalize, but I get worried about getting intercept. I just ran right into a heavy there. For some reason, I was thinking it was a two-part heavy. I just completely forgot Hit Monkey for a second. I'm just doing a really good job at using my head to block his fists, because I don't know, this fight's going absolutely horribly. I was initially thinking I would try to build up his immunity to missing or resistance, and I was just a really poorly fought fight on my side for many different reasons. Everything I could possibly do wrong, I found a way to do wrong that fight. But it's almost over, so one simple little thing there, and there we go. Cable finishes that off. That's okay. We don't have to solo every fight, as long as we get through without using our revives, our potions, any boosts, anything like that. That's the happy day. So go and do an energy refill to finish this so I can finish up this path for you. Again, item free, I'll consider things like the real resources, the revives, the potions, the boosts. So we see Hurt Locker. I want to avoid doing 2 of the same specials in a row to avoid having to override it. Explosive Personality, I want to avoid hitting into the blocks, if I remember. When defender is struck, attacker gains the Fury buff, granting attack rating over 10 Fury buffs. Any additional ones will inflict stacking degeneration, so I got to be careful with that. On Rising Sun, I see buff durations last 40% longer. I see kinetic transfer 2, block attacks cost a defender 7% power. So Magneto is the obvious answer for this, easy solo, but you know what? I'm just going to go with Gambit instead of Magneto just for fun. Although his best thing, his perfect block that I got going for him, is actually not going to be that helpful in this fight because blocked attacks grant her power. So I am going to see how he goes. I'm just curious. I know Magneto would just absolutely obliterate this fight, but I want to see how Magneto does for my own curiosity at this stage. And so I'm going to start off. I got my 10 little spade doohickeys. I always forget the technical names for all these different game things, really. So I got those little 10 spades up there, and so I can get the perfect block. I'm trying to bait out that S2. I should be able to perfect block it, but for some stupid reason I decided to Dex, even though I had 100% perfect block available. Don't ask me what I was thinking when I did that. At 100% perfect block available, I still decided to go ahead. I thought it just looked like a heavy was coming, I think, which is why I started to Dex, even though it was a special too. I don't know. Anyway, so that was silly. So let me just go to what I should have just done the first time. The obvious answer, Magneto. And I believe Gambit would have worked if I didn't do that ridiculously stupid mistake. And with Magneto, just parry heavy. Get on my prowess, do an S3, fight's over. It's pretty much that simple. Trying to bait out that S1, have her come to me. There we go. There we go. Build up the power through the medium along with the special to get a little extra power, because really I just want to get this up to an S3. One S3 should easily win this fight, I would believe. So I'm not worried about an S2 armor break or anything. I'm already doing pretty good damage just with heavies, really. And getting close, got looking at my prowess. Looks like I'm going to need another heavy. She goes and does the special one. And okay, I need to get a parry. There we go. Got up to 39 prowess. I charged the heavy before I launched the S3 when I dashed back, and like expected, S3 completely wiped her out. So can easily find. So hoping you enjoyed chapter 1. Remember, I have chapter 2, chapter 3 as well. Every single month I do these Cavalier walkthroughs. I'll explain some of the notes, my strategy, use some different champs going up the path to give you some ideas, kind of explain the bosses, see what works, see what doesn't. Real play here, non-perfection. We'll try to figure it out together. See what I did that works for you, see what I did that doesn't work. Don't forget to click that top left icon, subscribe to MCOC, Al Bundy Rules, turn your notifications on so you get notifications of the rest of my current month EQ and upcoming months. As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and share the video.